This is the morning of the 22nd of November. Clip put up by MS Now. Should J.D. Vance get some moving boxes? Question mark. Nicole reacts to Trump and Zohran Mamdani's meeting. Let's listen to this clip. Plays for, I think, 10 minutes. 11 minutes and 21 seconds.
I've seen everything. Hi again, everybody. You've been watching Donald Trump fall in love with New York City's mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani in the Oval Office after a meeting with high stakes for the country's largest city. The two men have, before just now, lobbed vicious verbal attacks at one another frequently. Mamdani, in his victory speech earlier this month, told Trump, quote, "To get to any of us, you will have to get through all of us." Today, it was an alternate reality, completely different story. The two men struck a cordial tone initially, talking about lowering the cost of living for New Yorkers, and it got more affectionate on Trump's part, at least, as it went on. When pressed by journalists on whether he had called Donald Trump a fascist, Mamdani said yes, he did. Trump, for his part, who was sitting next to him, said, "Go ahead, you can answer the question. It's okay." This extraordinary meeting is where we start today. With me at the table, host of Politics Nation, president of the National Action Network, the Reverend Al Sharpton's here. He spoke with the mayor-elect ahead of this meeting yesterday. We can ask him exactly what he told him to drop into Donald Trump's Diet Coke. Also joining us, the host of Fast Politics, New York Times contributing opinion writer and political analyst Molly Jong-Fast is here. Also joining us, Puck News senior political columnist MS Now National Affairs analyst John Heilman is here. Rev, what was the plan and what do you think?
Well, I talked to the mayor-elect last night. He called me and I told him that I've dealt with Donald Trump 40 years. He will either be very cordial and charming and may attack you on Truth Social before you get out of the grounds of the White House, or he may use it as a confrontation. That you should keep your eye on what it is you're trying to do in terms of affordability, in terms of representing segments of New York that have been neglected, and don't bite the bait. Because I think that it's clear that Donald Trump will go either way that he thinks is to his advantage. I mean, we just sat here and saw him, in effect, attack his future gubernatorial candidates' characterization of Mamdani. That's going to be one of the headlines. Trump says he's not a jihadist. I mean, there'll be many.
Fox News covers three things with Trump down at 33%. They cover crime in America's cities. Right. They cover really two things. They cover immigration, but that's pretty unpopular right now too. And they cover this line, this lie, this smear that New York's mayor-elect is a jihadist. What are they going to do now?
They're either going to have to attack Donald Trump or find a new script. And I think he did a lot of things, in he being President Trump, that was interesting. How New York had gone down. Well, I thought he said under Eric Adams everything was fine, and that he and Eric were working together. He threw everybody in front of the bus. But again, Zohran Mamdani is not off the grounds yet. Don't think that Donald Trump dates. He does not get married politically. And they had a good date. That does not mean this is a political marriage. I hope, though, it benefits the city of New York. I'm glad that we're not talking about him sending Vice in here and doing what he did in L.A. I think that's the positive. But would I bet on this sticking only because I know Donald Trump? I wouldn't bet on that.
I have never watched a public meeting, even with Putin, Trump didn't go on for as long, where he lavished that much praise, affection, and admiration on anyone.
So I have a theory that some of what's happened is that Donald Trump sees how popular Zohran is, and he wants to get on that affordability train, right? He sees his numbers. He knows inflation is plaguing him. I mean, maybe I'm ascribing too much sort of political acumen to him, but I just wonder, because when he was talking, he said, many Bernie Sanders voters voted for me. And then you had Zohran go back and say, they voted for him. A lot of people in New York City voted for him. Yeah. And then he said more people voted for me. I just wonder if look, obviously he really did clearly like him. And I think that it speaks to the talent, the raw political talent that Zohran has, that he can go in and sit there and just make this guy his greatest cheerleader. But I also wonder if he's trying to get on that, he ran as a populist. He said he was going to make things cheaper.
We're ascribing to Trump like a multi-step process when all that we've ever witnessed is like a hunting dog's reflexes. Right. And I just think there was a winner in the Oval Office today who won something that Donald Trump just told us he'd always wanted. Donald Trump said, quote, "One of the things I would love to be is mayor of New York." And this is someone who won. Again, we'll quote Donald Trump today on this. Came out of nowhere. Trump was obviously tracking his poll numbers. So Trump is endorsing Cuomo, is flipping Adams or whatever the hell he did with the Adams criminal bribery case at DOJ. And I wonder how all those lawyers feel about ruining their integrity to spring Adams when Trump was obviously in love with Mamdani the whole time. And he's tracking his polls. He says you were at 1 and then 4 and then 9. He's obviously been following his meteoric rise. And the guy is sitting there saying, "You can call me a fascist or a despot. You just answer the question." I mean, I've never seen him sort of care for his children, his vice president, or his cabinet's credibility the way he seemed committed to honoring Mamdani's credibility.
No, I've never seen him do that before. But Donald Trump is one that likes a political athlete.
Winner. Right. Yeah,
and a winner. I mean, when sometime we would get along, I would sit at ringside at boxing matches because he had the license in Atlantic City. He would go in rooting for one boxer, and if another guy got ahead in the third round, he was rooting for him. He's going to walk out of the place with the winner. And
should like J.D. Vance get some moving boxes?
Exactly. Yeah. But I think what is critical here, let's not forget, is that Trump changed a position on Mamdani. Mamdani did not change what he was saying he wanted to do in the city. And I think what a lot of us were looking for is whether Mamdani, even when they asked questions, well, what are you saying about Trump? He says people voted for affordability. Some of them voted for Trump. You did not see Mamdani become the guy that changed at all. The script at all. It was all Trump. And so I could say, from having talked to Mamdani several times, including last night, that he held the line on what he said. It's Donald Trump that changed the script, and he did so rightfully. He ought to be working with the mayor of New York. He ought to be talking like this. I just don't know how long it will last. But I think that Zohran Mamdani did not change anything other than he was cordial to a man who had called him everything but a child of God, and he had no reason to confront him because Donald Trump said, no, he's not a jihadist. No, he's going to do great things. No, he's going to be a great mayor. This is a guy who said, let's vote to save the city, to vote for somebody else.
Hi.
I'll tell you.
I just have to say, I've covered Donald Trump for 9 years. Yeah. This might be one of my favorite live Trump events I've ever covered. One of the greatest
I gotta say, just to think back on the course of our week, if I had asked you all a week ago what was more likely, that Donald Trump would capitulate on the Epstein files and would urge everyone to vote for the discharge petition, and that Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert would stand up to all those things, you would have said, oh, that's pretty unlikely, John. Right. What's less likely, that or this Mamdani? It would have been a stumper. That Trump would end up having a love fest with Mamdani. Would be like, oh my God, I don't know which one of those is like. I often tell this story of my first encounter with Trump when he decided to run for Trump. And I've been fighting on Twitter for years and years and years. He decided to run for president. The day after he announced for president, I was at Trump Tower. I came back. We covered it on live television. I tweeted out a thing that said, everybody who thinks that Donald Trump can't win the Republican nomination, you should think twice, because the Republican Party is becoming more racist, more xenophobic, more populist, more this, more that. Trump tweeted back at Jay Hollis finally started to understand Donald Trump. And I really was like, oh, he's binary. Like, at that moment, there were all these political reporters and correspondents and analysts saying he can't win. And it didn't matter why I said. I could have said.
You said he could win because people are becoming as racist as
but
he
it didn't
is.
matter. If I had said the whole country was secretly in the Ku Klux Klan, that's why he can win, he would have been like, thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
Because winner, loser.
That's right.
Your thing is
That's all.
the binary at any moment. There is you're with me or against me. You think I can win at that? Winner.
Yeah.
Zohran Mamdani, in 2024, Donald Trump was on the presidential ballot here because he ran for president, right? In New York City, he won 786,000 votes. In a presidential election year, 786,000 votes. Zohran Mamdani won more than 1 million votes the other day. That, in Donald Trump's mind, is a very simple scorecard.
Right.
That guy, he looks at that guy and goes, he's a winner. He's a winner. And I don't think any of it guarantees anything because you will recall after the election in 2016, he sat there in the Oval Office with Barack Obama.
Yeah.
They didn't have a love fest like this, but it was cordial. And Trump came out afterwards and said he really liked Obama. He thought Obama was really good. He said all kinds of nice things about Obama. Not like this because he was just coming in, but they had a very cordial meeting. And now, as you know, Donald Trump has been trying to investigate Barack Obama ever since. Right. 2 months from now, we could be in a totally different place. But right now, Trump is feeling like weak and like a loser. Zohran Mamdani is a winner, and he wants to be in that.
I was about to say,
no, I agree with you. About 2 days, 2 months, 2 weeks, who knows? None of it means anything except for today. But today, Donald Trump is on his heels this week, and Zohran Mamdani is on the opposite of where his heels are, on his toes. He's like, I just want to sit here and like bask around in the warm glow of winter right now because he's probably feeling not very winnerish at the moment.
It's totally insane. I mean, he's called Mamdani all kinds of names. Fascist, Muslim, communist. Huh? It's just insane. I'll attach the link. Let me know what you think. Pass it along, and thanks for listening.